Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to the monumental episode 50 of the Horsemen podcast. After 3.5 years, we finally made it. And
the big 5-0, 50 years old and still growing. And now even my grapefruits have been growing.
Even your grapefruits have been growing.
For those who don't get it,
yes,
look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Anyways, of course, I'm here as always, Levi, and of course, right above me to the left is the handsome Artur.
Finally getting a haircut next week.
And then up here is none other than Ricky.
Yellow. And speaking of haircuts, I finally got one after almost 6 months of getting one.
And I've had a haircut for almost 2 weeks, but I think I need to get another one because my hair grows so damn fast. And don't ask me to grow long hair. It would not look great, and plus it'd be a burden for me. So, yeah. But anyways, before we get started with everything, I just want to say to everybody who has ever seen this show, thank you. We wouldn't be here without you guys. A year and a half, or not a year and a half, 3.5 or 2.5 years. What am I talking about?
Going to 3 in September. So
Yep.
I was there.
Yep. And we're at episode 50, and we got plenty more episodes heading your way soon. Although, after like the next episode or two, we want to hear your say about what we should talk about soon, because I believe after this we're doing the top 10 album opening songs, and then what was after that?
Live albums.
And then after that, all the topics will be up to you guys. Well, we'll have a list of topics, but we'll put out a poll on the community tab of the YouTube channel to let you guys pick what should be the following topic to discuss. So
Just remember, no political.
yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please. But so yeah, for this episode here today, we are talking Judas Priest. Top 10 Judas Priest songs. So this is going to be a gruesome one, to say the very least. But good
This
place.
list was very hard for me.
Yeah. But a good place to begin is how we all got into the Mighty Priest. For me, I got into Judas Priest around the same time I was getting into rock and metal in general, thanks to radio. Back when MTV and VH1 actually played music. And
VH1 rocks. Eternal.
Or VH1 Classic, whenever they would do like Metal Manias or countdowns of like the 40 greatest metal songs and whatnot. And number 8.
Too soon.
I know, but
Too soon.
It came out.
I know.
But as I was saying, so yeah, it would have been around mid-2000s when I got into Priest in the beginning, and it was mostly thanks to like the hits. You've Got Another Thing Coming, Breaking the Law, and all those classic songs, Turbo. And then as I kept getting into stuff more heavily, more deeply, then I discovered the rest of their stuff. And here they are, started in 1969, first album in 74, and they're still going. Hell, they just had a new album out just 3 years ago, Firepower. That was one of the best of 2018. So,
Ta-dam.
which Artur has right there in his hands.
And it was my number one for 2018.
Yeah, I
As
can't
well.
remember where it was for me. It was top 5 for sure for me, but yeah. So that was my story of how I got into the Mighty Priest. Ricky.
Well, with Priest, I got into the same time I started getting into rock and metal as well. Of course, you had Iron Maiden. I mean, we've done there's one band we haven't done from my big 5 of all time. AC/DC, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, and Priest. I doubt we're going to do every Guns N' Roses, but you never know. But the thing I liked about Priest is that you look at them and they're heavy metal. They represent what heavy metal is. It was, of course, Black Sabbath started the whole heavy metal thing, but it wasn't Priest that gave us the look.
The look, the image.
It was Scott Ian who said that on the, I think it was on the thrash metal Metal Evolution episodes where he said the Godfathers of heavy metal, Black Sabbath, they still had all the blues. With Priest, they just removed the blues out of heavy metal. It was pure. It was pure.
Yeah. And you're talking about the 60s, 70s when the, I guess, motorcycle era phenomenon was going on. It fit the bill. I mean, you had groups, had motorcycle groups like the Hells Angels. I mean, hell, you see them, they're like metal. They influence Priest. And, I got into them. I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time. Still kicking ass. And Glenn Tipton.
One of the few bands that just pulled 50 career years.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And to Glenn Tipton, hope you're doing well, Glenn. Keep fighting, man. Hope you're doing well. And I have a funny personal story about Priest. During the Redeemer of Souls tour, they came to my town. And their show was on November the 4th. It would have been my first concert for my 18th birthday. Ooh. But being that I was saving at the time, I had no money. My parents wouldn't buy me the tickets. I would tell them, please buy me tickets to see Priest. They were like, nope. And I'm like, it would have been perfect. My first concert for my 18th birthday, seeing Priest. And you know what's the one thing that sucks about it? My teacher at the time, an art teacher called Mr. Garza, he went to the show and he met Rob Halford.
Oh! I think he lives in America. I think he lives in America right now. He lives in Phoenix.
Yes. So I could have met the fucking metal god right there and there. I would have been like, I am not worthy. And to this day, every time I go to a show, I told my parents, it would have been better if you would let me see Judas Priest. but you know what? I'm a patient man. Just like I did with Iron Maiden. I finally saw Maiden live. I'm a patient person. I will see eventually Priest live.
Right.
Yeah. That's my story.
All right, now Artur, your story.
Personally, I got into Priest just like a bit like you. We had in cable here. We still have VH1, but now doesn't have the Friday Rocks or VH1 Rocks show. And in Friday Rocks, they usually broadcasted 3 hours of rock from 9 p.m. all the way to 11, sometimes midnight. But I got into Priest mostly because of the first video, Breaking the Law. It was the first video that I saw, and later when I got to listen to this gem right here, which is not my favorite Priest album, is actually my third favorite Priest album, Painkiller. I started to get into more Judas Priest, and I said it a million times that my top 6 favorite bands of all time are Maiden, AC/DC, King Diamond / Merciful Fate, Blind Guardian, Emperor, and Judas fucking Priest. I got a chance to see them 3 times live, all of them here in Portugal. The first time I saw them, they had Testament and Megadeth opening up for them. It was during the Nostradamus tour, which was around 2009, 2010, if I'm not mistaken. And later, I got the chance to see them with the Epitaph tour. Long we thought that. I saw the Epitaph tour, and I saw a couple of years ago opening up for Ozzy in the No More Tours tour.
Yeah.
But I still got a lot more to Priest. And I have a bit of a story which involves a friend of mine. He had this huge denim jacket with all these bands, including the big back patch, which was Screaming for Vengeance. All of a sudden, he throws that to the crowd. A couple of days later, he calls me. He says, "Dude, check out the video, Judas Priest video from Wacken." And they were playing Helion, Electric Eye. All of a sudden, he has this denim jacket. My friend nearly fainted because that was his jacket, his denim jacket, wore by Rob Halford, and he still does this to this day. Still with with the Screaming for Vengeance back.
Mm-hmm.
He fainted, and when he came to Portugal, he nearly fainted right there and there when he saw that. But Judas Priest will always be one of those bands that, in terms of consistency, despite Jugulator, despite Demolition, despite Point of Entry, Ram It Down, and all that stuff, it has been arguably one of the most consistent bands ever over these past 50 years. Along with Saxon, they have been one of the most consistent bands. It's just a shame that what has been happening. I mean, KK left. Maybe he will be back. Although Richie Faulkner is a great replacement, no question about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Tipton, fight. We will always be here. And even if you lose, which I hope you don't, the legacy of Judas Priest is already set in stone.
Yeah.
Not in stone, in marble. It's already set in marble. Along with Black Sabbath, they are the band that made heavy metal what it is. Sabbath had the music, had a foundation of a music. Priest perfected it and gave it the look.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, not with the whole Priest thing, they don't have bad albums. They have good albums, and they have phenomenal albums.
Yeah.
They don't have a bad album.
I would say average.
Yeah,
And
but
to-
in
and
case of a
albums?
couple albums, yeah.
And to the people who hate Jugulator and Demolition, give them a second chance, especially Tim Ripper Owens. Come on, I mean,
And all those that hate Nostradamus for being rock opera, hey, you were warned. You were warned back then that Priest were going to do a rock opera, and you hate it because you were warned? Sorry, but you have no defense. Case closed.
And as I pointed out before we went live, that I think another reason people didn't like Nostradamus was because they wish Iron Maiden did the album instead of Priest. But what can you do, you know? But real quick to show off what we got each from the Priest catalog, in my collection, I got Sad Wings of Destiny, Sin After Sin, Stained Class, British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Even Turbo, and Painkiller. I'm trying to get all of the albums to make that big epic trident, which I'm only...
All those that say Turbo is a bad album, I'm sorry.
It's not.
For most
No,
of us,
it's-
Turbo is a guilty pleasure.
Turbo-
It is a guilty pleasure.
Turbo has aged well.
Yes,
gonna
it
say
And on a
has.
live
aged
setting,
well.
you hear
Yeah.
Turbo Lover on a live setting,
It's incredible.
forget it.
Absolutely
And-
incredible.
And for me, I have Sad Wings of Destiny, British Steel, my favorite, Defenders of the Faith,
Which I need to get at some point.
and Painkiller. And like Levi, I want to try and get all of them to form the trident, so I can just have it on my shelf and look so awesome.
Let me see Sad Wings of Destiny again.
For me, on my
Let's see.
collection,
That doesn't have the
I'd
trident
say-
on the side, does it?
No.
Okay.
No.
That-
The
that's same
trident.
with
for
mine.
me,
No.
It starts
the
with
trident.
Sin
My-
After Sin.
Yes, Sin After Sin, and all the way to Painkiller, which involves the 2 live albums. Awesome.
Yeah, Unleashed. in
mine
the
does
East.
my Painkiller does not have because it's not a remaster.
Okay.
But on my collection, Defenders of the Faith,
Mm-hmm.
Angel of Retribution. It was my first album. It was my first Priest album that I've ever bought, and there will be some songs on my list from Angel. Painkiller, of course.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite album, Screaming for Vengeance, Firepower, and an album that took me a while to track, Ripper Owens' first album, Jugulator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a long way to go
yeah.
with Priest and Maiden,
Yeah.
for that matter.
As well.
Yeah.
As well.
And if you ever find Jugular Demolition, get them. Those are hard to find.
Yeah. I know our pal Dylan Kamikaze wants to get a hold of those albums. And if he were here,
Mhm.
he'd be defending Turbo to the death.
I know.
But anyways,
I still say, guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyways, now let's get into the lists, and we're starting off with honorable mentions. I'm gonna begin. I have 8 honorable mentions for myself. So yeah, this was kind of a tough one. First off, my personal favorite song off of Killing Machine / Hellbent for Leather, "Delivering the Goods."
Ooh,
Deliver the goods.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, self-explanatory. It's a classic. Next up, from Painkiller, "A Touch of Evil."
It's on my list. It's on my list.
It's my number 3 along with another one, and it's not Painkiller. I'm going to piss off a lot of people because of Painkiller, because Painkiller, the song, is way lower on my list. I love Touch of Evil, and I love the other song that I will talk about it.
Yeah,
you can guess which one it is.
I mean, "A Touch of Evil." I mean, I love Rob's voice, how it could be a bit low and then go super mega high, especially towards the end of the track. I mean, then again, he's called the Metal God for a reason. Speaking of Metal God, next up, "Metal Gods" from British Steel. A very catchy, more mid-tempo track, of course, but it's a fun one.
Ripper Owens made a hell of a job in the Live 98 Meltdown album.
Yeah. Next up, in my opinion, one of the 2 most underrated Judas Priest songs, from Rockarola, "Run of the Mill."
Oh,
A wonderful kind of prog rock kind of tune, but Halford's voice, of course, not only soars, but it goes very low again. It's like the first half he's more low to mid-range, and then towards the end you can hear him doing the high stuff, but because I like my fair share of prog, and that's probably, along with 2 other songs that will actually be on my list, I would consider Priest at their most progressive. Next up, from Sin After Sin, I actually got 2 songs, so make this 9 honorable mentions. 2 songs from Sin After Sin: "Sinner" and Here Come the Tears.
ooh.
I have to twist my arm on that.
Next up, one of the catchy songs from British Steel, "Living After Midnight."
Of course.
Of course, you can't ignore that song. It's such a catchy one.
Living after midnight, rocking to the dawn. It's just catchy.
Yeah, absolutely. Next
And sometimes it could be a bit unknowingly catchy, but it's good.
Yeah.
So you got another thing coming as well.
Same with that.
Thank you, Vice City. Next up, if you don't know that, then you did not have a happy childhood.
Next up, my favorite song from Firepower, "Rising from Ruins."
It's on my list, and it's on my number 5. But I've put the 2, Guardians and Rising from Ruins.
Yeah,
both together. Yeah,
because Guardians, it is the
intro to it. And then my final honorable mention, in my opinion, the most underrated Judas Priest song of all time, from Nostradamus, "Death."
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Now you're gonna go with something else. I was like, don't put that song. Because I would consider
that distinction to Pestilence and Plague, but Death is a close second.
Yeah, because Death was basically Judas Priest's attempt at Doom, and it was brilliant. Yeah. Like, they were paying homage to Black Sabbath and all of Doom at the same time.
Although you could call it Beyond the Realms of Death.
Plus it has an epic middle section that I really, really like. Yeah.
Although Beyond the Realms of Death can also be considered a Doom song.
Yeah.
And a prog song at that, too.
Prog and Doom? A ballad.
Prog Doom and a ballad. It's a triple threat of metal. So, yeah, my honorable mentions, a recap: Delivering the Goods, A Touch of Evil, Metal Gods, Run of the Mill, Sinner, Here Come the Tears, Living After Midnight, Rising from Ruins, and Death.
I would like to go next because, like I said,
right,
I have around 13. I could make another.
Oh God!
And I would make it a 14 because there's another song of this album that I love besides Loch Ness, which it is the longest song, but it could be also considered a doom prog song. I mean, Loch Ness, Drowning, but despite Judas Rising, which I love, Demonizer, there's only one song that tops on this album, besides the one that I've put here on my list. Hell Rider. I mean, Hell Rider's midsection, especially with the dual guitar solo, perfection. Then, already two. My guilty pleasure. I'm Your Turbo Lover. I mean, Turbo Lover, you cannot say anything else. It is a guilty pleasure. Okay. Okay. You say what you will. Turbo Lover is a guilty pleasure for all.
Yes.
I also have, from Point of Entry, Hot Rockin'. I mean, I do love that. I do love that song. It is also catchy as hell. And that solo, it's one of the great things about Priest. Tipton and Downing, sharing solos, absolute perfection. I also have Ram It Down as well. And I'm now already down to 5 honorable mentions. From Nostradamus, although I could consider putting here Pestilence and Plague, I've put Prophecy. I mean, Dawn of Creation, Prophecy, the intro section, it is perfect. From Redeemer of Souls, Halls of Valhalla. Redeemer of Souls, it is a Redeemer of Careers. Halls of Valhalla, it is a hell of a song. Another guilty pleasure of mine, even though I know it's not full-on Judas Priest. Rock and rolla for a rock and rolla man.
Yeah.
I mean, I love rock and rolla.
Yeah.
Say what you will.
And people shit on Rock and Rolla. I mean, it's a good album. Yes, like Razor Fist said, this album was not written for the current lineup because it was written for Al Aikens, who was in the band.
Atkins.
It was an album.
Yeah.
It was an album written for Al Aikens, which it's like Razor Fist said, they could have just made the album with Al Aikens and then Sad Wings of Destiny being what we got.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm down now to 8. I'm giving some love to Jugulator, and Cathedral Spires is on my list. Although Burn in Hell could also be a hell of a song.
Yeah.
Breaking the Law is in my honorable mentions. It's Breaking the Law. No need to say anything else. Diamonds and Rust. I mean, one of the few covers that Judas Priest ever made, and it still came out excellent. And last but not least, from Sad Wings of Destiny, I have to give some love to Sinner. Sinner, 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 sinner! Done.
All right. Ricky?
Well, I have 9 honorable mentions. I have Judas Rising.
Ooh, yes!
The perfect way from a comeback from the Angel Retribution song to start that one like that. Oh, the scream at the very beginning. Like, I'm like, Rob, take it easy, man. It's still a good song. Sinner, again, one of my favorite songs from Sin After Sin. Sinner, very proggy.
Yeah.
I'm your turbo
lover.
Of course.
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure. You cannot hate the song. It has aged well over the years. I have Firepower as well. Probably one of my favorites from the new album.
And this album, and Firepower, sorry to say, it has a lot of great albums. Firepower, Lightning Strike, Evil Never Dies, Never the Heroes.
Rising from Ruins, No Surrender.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Spectre as well.
Yes. I'm pretty sure you're going to have it a bit higher in the list, but I have Beyond the Realms of Death.
It
was a tough list. Probably one of my favorite Priest ballads, which the people will say Priest don't write ballads. Oh,
what?
trust me. What?
Then explain this song as well as Here Come the Tears.
Mm-hmm.
And Tipton solos on this.
Mm-hmm. You got another thing coming. Catchy,
Okay.
unknowingly catchy, classic rock Radiohead. It just hits on the right spot.
It does.
Okay.
Shut up, duck.
I know, the duck never wants to stop quacking.
Before the dawn, another ballad
Okay.
from Hellbent for Leather / Killing Ground, probably one of my favorites. Living After Midnight.
Of course.
What more can I say? And last but not least, The Ripper.
Oh
Man. Number 9. Number 9.
When I have The Ripper low on this list, you know it was a tough list. I mean, it gave birth to, it's about Jack the Ripper and also the nickname to Tim Ripper Owens.
Yep. Hey, Tim Ripper, fellow Buckeye. Yeah.
In a short song. I think it's like clocks in close to 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Roughly, yeah.
You're in for a shock.
But yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
And now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty.
Say Hannah's list first.
Oh yeah, let's get through Hannah's
list. And I have Raphael's list here as well. So let's go over Hannah's first. Let me just get Hannah's list. I got it. So Hannah's list, number 10, she had the Great Manalishi, which is a cover from Sin After Sin from
the Great Manalishi and the Two-Pronged Crown
from Fleetwood Mac.
Yep.
Number
arguably the greatest cover song in metal history.
Number 9, Screaming for Vengeance, which good choice. Yep. Number 8, Rising from Ruins.
Okay.
Number 7, Living After Midnight.
Yep.
Number 9, number 6. 8, people, it's too early. Give me a break. Number 6,
which is afternoon here.
Yeah. Number 6, Painkiller.
Okay. I have it on my number 8. And I'll explain.
Number 5, You Got Another Thing Coming.
Okay.
Number 4, Breaking the Law.
Okay.
Number 3, Turbo Lover.
Ooh! Higher than most.
Number 2, The Sentinel.
Oh! Good choice.
And number 1, The Hellion / Electric Eye.
Boom!
And so that's Hannah's list. And
it's also my number 1. Hellion Electric Eye. She blitzed me again.
And onto Raphael's list, number 10, Living After Midnight.
Okay.
Number 9, Halls of Valhalla.
It's a hell of a song.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Dip. Love Bites.
Oh!
Number 7, Heading Out to the Highway.
Oh!
Number 6, Hellion Electric Eye. Number 5, No Surrender.
Oh!
Mm-hmm. Number 4, Turbo Lover. Damn, what's with Turbo
Lover?
You can't deny how catchy it is.
Yeah.
No.
Number
and
3.
And the solo.
Mm-hmm. Number 3, Painkiller.
Okay.
Number 2, You Got Another Thing Coming.
Yep.
And number 1, Breaking the Law.
Breaking the law, breaking the law. Washing the dog, washing the dog.
Or the Simpsons version, respecting the law, respecting the law.
I actually know how to play Breaking the Law guitar. I just wish I could play right now, but the folks are asleep. And now I would be like, da 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 da
know, right?
There you go. Need to get that out.
All right. Now time for the actual lists themselves. Starting at number 10.
The others are also lists, so.
Yeah. All right, so for me, at number 10, I begin with my favorite / best song off of Defenders of the Faith, Free Will Burning.
Number 2. It's my number 2.
And fun fact with Free Will Burning, the game that I've been playing a lot of on stream lately, Gran Turismo 4, it's in that soundtrack, along with Panama by Van Halen too. So,
Panama.
But yeah, Free Will Burning, one of the band's best speed metal tracks that they ever did, and plus I love the theme, all about racing until your wheels burn, pretty much.
And one thing, if you want to know how Judas Priest started thrash speed metal, Free Will Burning, baby.
And the music video for Free Will Burning, I mean, as the band is playing, you have kids playing on the freaking video game arcade, banging and just playing the games.
Yeah, it was a great music video, and the song itself is fantastic. Number 9, I have a tie with 2 songs. From Screaming for Vengeance, both You've Got Another Thing Coming, and the title track, Screaming for Vengeance. Screaming for vengeance! But yeah, first off, the title track, Screaming for Vengeance. I mean, one of their more aggressive songs at that time. Another great speedy track. And then You've Got Another Thing Coming. I mean, it's the song that basically put them on the mainstream map, essentially, and helped them sell more records. And it's a catchy fucking song. And it's still a staple in classic rock.
And the Vice City reference. I mean, who hasn't played GTA Vice City? Tune into V-Rock and listen to You Got Another Thing Coming.
Exactly. And that's beauty. I almost forgot. We were at number 9.
Yes.
9.
I had to play that sound clip. But now we're up to
number 8. Number 8.
Yeah.
Ricky and Artur can't hear it, but I got them sound clips going off.
Don't worry.
But now I'm closing out the chat box because now I got no other use for it. Anyway, so number 8 is the band's best quote speed metal song, at least before you get to Screaming for Vengeance and Free Will Burning, from Stained Class, Exciter.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Exciter, you owe Judas Priest some royalties.
Exactly. Hey, DK, you should tell.
I was about to say, hey, DK, Priest is calling you.
Same goes for Running Wild, the song off of Hellbent for Leather as well. So,
oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Exciter, the opener off of arguably the most underrated Priest album. And, of course, it's speed metal bliss. It's just speed metal perfection. Without that song, would you have seen bands like Exciter, Running Wild, Voivod, Razor, and any of those? I mean, Anvil, Ancient Steel, any speed metal bands to come.
Would you even get thrash metal, to be honest, without Priest? I mean, come on.
Right?
No. Nope.
But now to number 7. I'm your turbo lover. And also that song on the Gran Turismo 3 soundtrack. And it was perfect. I mean, of course,
and
it's the guilty pleasure song, of course, but it's such a great song. An amazing solo. Halford's voice soaring through. And the drums, while some people debate whether or not they like the drum sounds on the album.
Synthesizers to hell.
That too. But regardless, Turbo Lover, it's an all-time classic from Priest. You can't ignore it.
And Turbo Lover was originally supposed to be on the Top Gun movie, but Priest pulled it out the last minute.
Yeah, like, nope. Walking Deadpan just said that in the Twitch chat a little bit ago. Would have been more well remembered if it actually gotten into the Top Gun soundtrack like it was supposed to. So, where the hell did I've gotten everything all mixed up here. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Number 6. It's Beyond the Realms of Death off of Stained Class. As I said earlier, another one of Priest's more progressive tracks, and also one of their big ballads. Oh, Man, I'm just clumsy today, but but yeah, Beyond the Realms of Death, a sad song to an extent, not anywhere near as sad in my opinion as Here Come the Tears, but it's a heavy song. There are a lot of heavy riffs on it, but with some great melodic breaks here and there. And I love the vocals in the beginning.
And Glenn Tipton's solo.
Yeah, and of course the beginning
Oh
vocal.
yeah.
I've had enough, couldn't take any more. That's a...
And I'm shocked that those two guys that unfortunately killed themselves, they said that they killed themselves to Better By You, Better Than Me.
Which was a Spooky Tooth song, not even a Priest song. You know, it's a weird situation, of course. But now we're into the top 5. Starting at number 5, one of my personal favorite songs off of Sad Wings of Destiny, Dreamer Deceiver.
Fuck
yes!
Hell!
Yes! I did not put that one, but yes.
I mean, Dreamer Deceiver, arguably the band's most... Oh, it's his number 1! It was Ricky's numero uno.
Texas invades Ohio.
But yeah, arguably the band's most proggy song. And at times, like especially in the beginning, it kind of sounds a bit like a Pink Floyd song to an extent. And then you get the great solos towards the end. Rob's voice going everywhere, starting off low. Then you hear him go Banshee towards the end, leading into the song Deceiver, so it's both together, 2-part song, and it's masterful. Of course, the song Deceiver is a little more speedy, but I mean, both songs together, Dreamer Deceiver and Deceiver, stone cold classics. Next up at number 4, it's gotta be Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law.
No. It's respecting the law. Respecting the law.
No, it's washing the dog. Washing the dog.
Oh, we love you, Rob.
Anyways, but yeah, Breaking the Law. Of course, another catchy one, but in my opinion, the best song off of British Steel. It's a short one. Only 2.5 minutes.
Second that.
But it's a short song. But of course, some of the band's best riffs. A great solo, and an amazing music video to fit in with it when it came out in 1980. Yeah. So yeah, Breaking the Law, of course, this was one of the first Priest songs I ever got into. And plus, it was a sight to be seen when watching the VH1's Top 100 Songs of the 80s, watching John Cena air guitar this fucking song. Which was funny as hell. But, anyways. Number 3... in my opinion, the best song from Sad Wings of Destiny, Victim of Changes.
Oh, yes.
My number 3.
I mean, hell, if I had the chatbot working, if you type in Priest in the chat, you would hear the ending scream of that song. But, yeah, Victim of Changes, again, another proggy. It's like the first real prog metal song, next to anything Rush was doing at the time. But, of course... Victim of Changes, the riffs, the vocals, mostly the high stuff, but then you get into that soft melodic break towards the end where you hear him go low before it builds back up, and then the high note at the end. Both versions from the album and off of Unleashed in the East are amazing in their own rights. Number 2, it's gotta be The Hellion Electric Eye!
Dun 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 dun. Which I know how to
on the lives. I'll talk later.
Yeah.
Which I know how to play the intro of the
Hellion
Electric Eye.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Ah, so good.
But yeah, Hellion Electric Eye. No doubt whenever we do the next episode of the top 10 album openers, this is definitely going to be on almost everybody's list.
Hell yeah.
Because it's brilliant. Like, Priest and Maiden were the pioneers of, like, the 2-part opening thing. Like, you start with an instrumental piece before you get into the actual song.
Although on that album opener, I'm definitely going to put King Diamond's intro in Abigail.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, riffs beyond riffs beyond riffs beyond riffs beyond riffs. And of course, seeing them do this song live, it's magical. Especially if they open the show with the song and you see Halford come out on the motorcycle before getting into the song. That makes it even better, if you ask me.
Usually when he comes out with a bike, it's for Hellbent for Leather, not for Hellion.
But still, and then finally number 1. For me, there can only be one! Painkiller!
Killer!
I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, I know.
I know.
I'm gonna piss off a lot of people.
But I mean, Painkiller, it's the speed thrash metal symphony of Priest. It's like, I'll disagree when people say, like, when people thought thrash was king and Priest said, hold my beer. Nah, Metallica and Slayer and so many other bands were still doing a great job by 1990. If anything, it was a great metal revitalization of Priest. It kind of started a little bit with Ram It Down, but it wasn't very well received. But then when Painkiller came out, holy shit, it changed the game in a big way. And then you start off with the title track with one of, if not the best drum intro in metal history.
Scott Travis's drum work was superb.
And Scott Travis kind of gave the band a big shot in the arm in a way too. And then of course, again, the riffs. Halford's voice just high notes the entire way through. And the solos. Probably some of Priest's best guitar solos came out of this song. And plus, for those who got into this song thanks to Rock Band 2, know how fucking difficult it was to play this song on that game. So... So, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that was my top 10. Now, Ricky, the floor is yours.
My number 10, from the Nostradamus album, I'm gonna go with Conquest.
Ooh!
In my opinion, the best song of the album, the most epic song, the most operatic song, the most mid-tempo. I just love that song so much. It has a different vibe to the rest of the album, even though I love Nostradamus. And people who share Nostradamus, go to hell. It's a great album. Conquest is everything you want from this album, especially during that era in 2005.
And also, of course, that vocal, Conquest in Fire. That's a great
Age
vocal
of
line.
Desire. Number 9, from Painkiller, A Touch of Evil. Again, I
it's
love
number 2. It's not number 2, number 3, along with another song, and I'll talk about it.
If y'all see the music video, it's about this priest preaching the evil and all the shenanigans that, priests do. I mean, priest is being the evil, and, it's a great song to listen to, especially during night when you're, I guess, after work. It's a good way to tone down. Number 8, from Defenders of the Faith, Night Comes Down.
Oh?
Now, I know Razorfist said that this is one of the filler songs from the album, but it is a good, catchy song. A good tuning, mid-tempo song. It's not your fast, typical, like, bad songs from Free Will Burning or Jawbreaker, which I forgot to mention Jawbreaker, so another good song from Defenders of the Faith.
Even the, you could say, anthem for most motorcycle clubs, Rock Hard, Ride Free.
Yeah, but Night Comes Down, again, it's, I guess, the ballad of the album. Great song to listen to. It's like one of those songs that gets forgotten. I like to listen to it from time to time. Number 7, The Hellion Electric Eye. If you talk about openers from an album, this is probably one of the best openers of ever, especially live during the 80s when you have the robot and then you have Rob Halford there being carried from the arm. I mean, how epic can you get from that? I mean, about a futuristic robot coming back from time. Terminator Anybody? Terminator?
Right.
Just saying. Can you imagine the Terminator coming down to that song? Oh, it'll be so epic.
It would
Yeah.
be.
Number 6. Breaking the law. Or
Washing the
respecting the
dog.
law.
Washing the dog.
Respecting the law. Respecting the law. From, of course, British Steel, which gave them a lot of commercial success during the 80s. This is during the I guess the rise of the new album.
Yep.
And again, a lot of people consider this a new album. I am sorry. This is not a new album. It helped the album, but it's not pure new album. But Breaking the Law, again, catchy songs. The music video is great. One of the most iconic Priest songs of all time. The dual guitarists from both Glenn and KK, perfection. Rob's vocals, a bit lower, but still give that raw power that he always has. Great song. Number 5, Help It, voila da, dun, 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 dun. Help It,
It's my number 7. It's my number 7.
If you're talking about motorcycle anthems, this is your anthem too. I mean, whenever I don't have a motorcycle, if the day comes I decide to buy a motorcycle, the first thing I want to do, play Help Him for Letters. I'm going down the highway and just like let the air go in through my face, that like, yeah, Help Him for Letters. I mean, it's so iconic. I mean, even when Rob goes to perform it live, he comes out to the motorcycle.
Yep.
The boom, boom. I mean, come on. I mean, Rob, no wonder he's called the Metal God. That's why he's called the Metal God. Number 4, The Sentinel. Probably my favorite song from Defenders of the Faith. I give a robot going back in time, kind of like Terminator, but this is on steroids in a way. And the dual guitar between KK and Glenn. I mean, I don't know. This song I feel this song could be fit perfectly, like in a video game. Like, I don't know, like maybe trying to think of a good video game this could fit into, like maybe a Pacific Rim. I don't know if Pacific Rim ever did a video game, and that would kind of cool. They ever did that.
Yeah.
Number 3 from Sirens of Destiny, Victim of Changes.
Yep.
If you talk about Glenn and KK being the best dual guitarists of all time, the best duet, this song is the reason why they're called the greatest duet of all time. I mean, you started from the freaking 8th note, from the 19 and 17 notes, bottom E string, going all the way down the tempo, the dual guitars, and then the mid section bit of a slower, goes a bit slower, and then bam, goes back again, and Rob's Hoffer scream at the very end, like iconic. I'm like, Rob, take it easy. But yeah, my number 2, and I'm gonna do this. I hope I can do it justice. The
Painkiller.
Yeah.
If I was ever a drummer, that would be the song I would learn how to play drums. Even though
Absolutely.
I've seen videos of it, it's like really hard to do it. But again,
Yeah.
Rob's voice, everything about it, just high pitched. Like he cannot keep going with the high pitched stuff. And seeing it live, Rob has a bit hard time singing it because I think that was done in one take. I could be wrong, maybe 1 or 2 takes, but how could you surpass something as Painkiller? Because come on, it's iconic, fast, tempo, speed, hell, thrash, fucking thrashy. And my number 1, I love me my slow tempo songs. So that's why I had to win from this album, Sirens of Destiny, the song that describes the album cover most, Dream Deceiver. You started the song with Standing on My Window, Breathing Summer Breeze, Saw a Figure Falling. That could be a reference to Lucifer being cast down from heaven. And then you see, as the song goes on, it talks about, following the dreamer through the cover, lazy clouds. Could be the person being seduced by Lucifer himself to follow him down to hell. and just staying there for eternity. And at the very end of the song, the vocals, the last screaming could be the person being dragged down to hell as he's screaming down. I mean, and also again, it just grabs the cover so beautifully. And I'm gonna say it right now, and I think we all know this, but this we're later returning to this. This is the angel coming back from hell. This is the angel going to hell. So yeah, perfect combination. So yeah, my number one, Dream Deceiver.
All right, Artur, the floor is yours now.
Okay. Let's get going. My number 10, it is probably one of the best ballads of Judas Priest's career, and it's still not beyond the realms of death. That's way higher. But that's where it is. I'm talking about Angel from the Angel of Retribution album. I mean, it could be a bit of a love song, especially in the first chorus in the first line where he says, "Angel, put sand wings around me now. Escape from this world of sin so that we can rise again." I mean, it is beautiful, and after, when Halford says, "Angel, take me far away," and then the guitar starts going heavy, it's still beautiful.
Absolutely.
Number 9.
9?
From Sad Wings of number 9? 9? 9. From Sad Wings of Destiny, you're in for surprise. You're in for a shock. The Ripper. I mean, it is one of the shortest songs of Judas Priest's career, but to tell 2.5 minutes a story about Jack the Ripper in Camden Town? Oh, come on. History Channel makes like 4 or 5 hour documentaries about it, and Priest does that in 2.5 minutes with the Ripper. I mean, but then again, so does Sabaton when they talk about all the stories about the wars.
Yeah.
And those take what, 4 or 5 minutes, more or less?
Roughly.
Around
Now,
there.
I'm going to piss off a lot of people. Number 8, Painkiller itself. And the reason why I have Painkiller on my number 8, I mean, I love Painkiller. It's probably one of the best songs that Priest has ever made, and the song that effed up both Ripper and Halford's vocal cords. Let's be honest about it. But,
oh yeah,
despite this album does not have a bad song on it, and I'm going to shock now. Probably Painkiller, besides Breaking the Law and You Got Another Thing Coming, it has become one of the most overplayed songs in Judas Priest's career. And on an album that includes one of my number 3 songs, A Touch of Evil, and the other, One Shot at Glory, Brutal Legend, anyone? Metal Meltdown, Letter Rebel, All Guns Blazing, Between the Hammer and the Anvil. I mean, I know that Painkiller stands up above the crowd, but there are so many better songs than Painkiller, and as much as I love, it tends to be overplayed like heck. And that's why it is number 8. And if you want to say that there are other Priest songs that are overplayed on the chat and on the comment section, yes, there are. But this is my opinion. Number 7, enter the motorcycle and start shouting, "Hellbent, hellbent for leather."
Hellbent for leather.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Yep.
It is a classic, and it would be a preview of what was to come with British Steel when they started to go back to those heavy metal roots. And in connection with my number 6, I mean, yes, British Steel has some amazing songs. Breaking the Law, it has become the most famous of them all, Living After Midnight, the second, but to me they are no match in comparison with Pounding the World Like a Battering Ram. I mean, Rapid Fire. You want a hell of an opening song for an album, and one that says Pounding the World Like a Battering Ram.
Mm-hmm.
Forging the Furnace for the final Grand Slam? I mean, love Breaking the Law, love Living After Midnight, but Rapid Fire outshines all of them. This is just me. Number 5. Going now to my top 5. Firepower does have a lot of great songs. As we said, Firepower, Lightning Strike, Evil Never Dies, Never the Heroes, Children of the Sun, but Guardians and Rising from Ruins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and again, the people who say Priest don't write ballads. Listen to that song carefully, people.
Listen to Angel. I mean, Rising from Ruins, especially combined with the Guardians intro, and the song is just a hell of a progression. Even on a live setting, which Priest is, if you did not get a chance to see it, Priest is one of the best live bands that you will ever see. I mean, even Rising from Ruins, when they played with in the No More Tours tour with Ozzy, it's just stood beautifully. And just to share this story, before the encore section of the encore section of the of the show here in Portugal, it went with Painkiller, and then all of a sudden the lights went down, and
Oh man! All right, there you be.
Oh, there you go.
Technical difficulties. What else would happen?
Comment in Portugal.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm sorry about that. But as I was saying, just to share this story about the Epitaph World Tour. All of a sudden, Painkiller stopped playing. The lights went down. One of the best moments of that day. Here it is. One of the best moments of that was all of a sudden the lights went down, and who enters the stage? Tipton, with Alzheimer's, with not Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. I'm sorry. He enters the stage for the encore, and he still plays 2 songs: Metal Gods and Breaking the Law. It was one of the most emotional moments of that day. Seeing Tipton going there on stage, it was just beautiful. Number 4. Number 4. Beyond the Realms of Death from Stained Class. I mean, this is a song that has matured so much. I mean, one of the darkest songs that Judas Priest has ever written, combined with a hell of a solo that on a live setting it just gives you chills.
Had it done.
Not just that. I mean, not just that. Even You Can Take Forever and Ever and Ever and Ever and I Still Win, and then enter the solo. I mean, this song still to this day gives chills. Now, number 3. Some of you got right on one of the songs from Painkiller that I've put on a higher pedestal. One of them is A Touch of Evil. I love A Touch of Evil, and on a live setting, woof, it does give you chills.
Now to guess the other, I'm going to try and do my best to guess the other. Is it going to be Between the Hammer and the Anvil?
Nope.
Let me see. I'm gonna go with Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. I mean, Nightcrawler. I love Nightcrawler. It's probably, along with Touch of Evil and Painkiller, the 3 best songs of the entire album. In an album that has mostly perfect songs. There's not a bad song on Painkiller.
Even the bonus track, Living Bad Dreams, is
Oh,
great
yeah.
too.
That's a great song too.
But Nightcrawler, especially when Halford starts, howling windscreen spreading round as the fiend comes into town. I mean, even on a live setting, when the guitars go, whoa, whoa, the crowd, when the guitar starts to do a semi-solo, the people will go, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, even these 2 songs that were covered recently by Powerwolf. Touch of Evil just got a little more darker with Powerwolf's choirs, and Nightcrawler, it needs some work. But number 3 is A Touch of Evil and Nightcrawler from the Painkiller albums. Let me see here. Number 2, possibly the song that, along with Exciter, catapulted speed metal. Free Will Burning. I mean, Free Will Burning. It's a beast. I mean, when you hear Free Will Burning, you can imagine that you are in an out of control car, and even when before the solo, Alfred goes, "Look before you leave, what did you say? What the scream that you almost don't hear him?"
Yeah.
Until he goes, "We victory, all right." I mean, it feels like exactly.
It's in this game.
I mean, you can use for that. You can use for Need for Speed. You can use for Burnout. You can use for
Forza.
for a lot of
For basically any occasion. I mean, Fast and Furious, you ride the universe. I love
No, not for Fast and Furious, because for some reason Fast and Furious franchise hates metal.
I mean, the first one, yeah, but after that, no.
Yeah, after the first movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now going to number 1, which Hannah blitzed me, which Hannah did blitz me. Helion Electric Eye. I mean, it is a hell of a song. Talking about the Helion, na 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 na, and even once again on a live setting, the crowd going whoa 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 whoa, and then Electric Eye. Alfred talking about Big Brother before there was even talks about Big Brother. I mean, it was just wow. And this comes from an album that has a lot of great songs. I mean, Helion Electric Eye, Riding on the Wind, Bloodstone, Screaming for Vengeance. Devil's Child was for a long time one of my favorite songs of Screaming for Vengeance. And it's just so beautiful. Even when Alfred goes, electric eye in the sky, feel my step. I mean, to me, Helion Electric Eye will be forever one of my favorite Judas Priest song. And that's my top 10. Angel, Ripper, Painkiller, Hellbent for Leather, Rapid Fire, Guardians Rising from Ruins, Beyond the Realms of Death, Touch of Evil and Nightcrawler, Free Will Burning, Helion Electric Eye.
And now time to cobble together the final top 10.
Now
the
here
real
comes-
task begins.
Let me just get everyone's list so we can compare, see what everyone had.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
I was going to say, I think right off the bat, I think we can agree Helion Electric Eye goes straight to number 1.
Yeah, I mean, because Hannah and Artur had a number 1. So
And I had a number 2, so...
And I had it at what number 7, so it was a bit low, but I'm okay in having Alien Electric at number 1. Alien.
All right, now the rest is where it's gonna get tough.
Painkiller.
I mean,
Yes, Painkiller's got to be in there.
yeah, I could go with Painkiller, but I was gonna suggest Free Will Burning.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. This is where we're gonna bump heads, people. So get ready.
I mean, the first two are lock, Helion and Painkiller. But
yeah,
after that is.
I think we gotta have. I think we gotta have Beyond the Realms of Death in there too.
I go for it.
Victim of Changes.
And Victim of Changes.
Not all of us had on the list.
So number 3, what was it? Beyond the Realms.
Beyond the Realms of Death.
I go with it.
Beyond the Realms.
I can go Breaking the Law number 4 because just how important the song is.
Yeah, I'll go Breaking the Law. Let's see.
And now for number 5.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what else did we all had that we haven't talked about.
Free Will Burning.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Free Will Burning. But Turbo Lover. We all had almost.
We all did have Turbo Lovers, so I think that has to go up there.
Yeah, that.
But lower.
What number?
Lower.
Where you want
maybe like
Turbo
number
Lover?
8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turbo Lover number 8. Yeah. So we're still missing 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. So number 5.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like epic fucking songs, I don't know how Victim of Changes or Dreamer Deceiver's not in there yet.
I could go with either. I could go with either of them, Dream Deceiver or Victim of Changes.
Give me Victim.
I'd say we go with Victim because it's more iconic and plus it's legendary on Unleashed in the East. So
number 5, Victim of Changes.
Victim of Changes.
Now comes 6.
6, 7, 9, 10.
I mean,
see.
Well, Free Will Burning
all
needs
of us
to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Free Will Burning.
I was going to. One suggestion would be that I think we have also on our lists Touch of Evil.
I was gonna say, how come we don't have the Ripper? We gotta have the Ripper.
I can go with the Ripper.
We gotta have the Ripper.
I can live with the Ripper.
It wasn't
on my list, but I can go with the Ripper.
So we're still missing 9 and 10. So
A Touch of Evil, possibly.
So okay, I'm trying to figure out what we haven't touched upon. And we did Scream for Vengeance, Painkiller, Stained Glass, British Steel, Defense of the Faith,
Turbo, Painkiller. We pretty much got at least one song from like the majority of the classics.
I mean,
what about at number 10? Since I think we all had Guardians Rising from Ruins.
Yes.
I would definitely live with that. Now for number 9, the last one.
Now this is where it's gonna get
dicey.
I tell you what, I got a few choices. I'd say for the final slot, the choices should be either Streamer Deceiver, You've Got Another Thing Coming, A Touch of Evil, or
The Ripper?
No, the Ripper's already in there.
The Ripper's already in.
Or what would be the fourth one to try and decide on?
Hellbent for Leather.
And Hellbent for Leather. So it'd be between Dreamer Deceiver, You've Got Another Thing Coming, Hellbent for Leather, and A Touch of Evil. So it's between those four.
We have nothing from Killing Ground /
Not Killing Ground, Killing Machine.
Oh, Killing Machine / Hellbent for Leather. I mean, I'm between Hellbent for Leather, A Touch of Evil, and Dream Deceiver.
I mean, it is the tie. It is the tie.
Oh man! Oh shit!
This one, whoa. Fuck. I mean.
Oh.
I mean,
and the Sentinel. How could I forget about the Sentinel?
We did not have all on our lists.
I think it was only Hannah who had it.
I had it too. Oh.
I mean, if I had to choose out of the 4, I would go Dreamer Deceiver out of the 4. But
I mean,
that's just
we already have Victims of
But yeah,
Change.
we do have Victim of Changes and the Ripper.
Mhm.
That's already 2 songs. Well, I don't know. I almost feel like we should swap out the Ripper for Dreamer Deceiver.
But are you?
No.
That's
No.
way too iconic.
I'm sorry, but
No.
Ripper stays.
Yeah, as much as Deceiver is my favorite song about Priest song of all time, I cannot have a list without the Reaper. I mean, I'm fine with going with Touch of Evil.
No.
Or,
I can go Hellbent.
Yeah,
I can go Hellbent.
Let's give
Yeah,
it Hellbent.
I can live with Hellbent for Leather.
So number 9.
Even though, like I said,
Hellbent.
it wasn't on my list, but I can go with it.
Hellbent for Leather. So right now, number 1, Hellion / Electric Eye.
Yeah.
Number 2, Painkiller. Number 3, Beyond the Realms of Death. Number 4, Breaking the Law. Number 5, Victim of Changes. Number 6, Free Will Burning. Number 7, The Ripper. Number 8, Bip. Turbo Lover. Number 9, Hellbent for Leather.
And number
10, Guardians Rising from Ruins.
I think that's a good order.
I mean, let's see. We got almost every single era Priest except for the Ripper era, which unfortunately not
too much of that on.
Too much,
and
of
we
it,
don't,
yeah.
and we don't have the Redeemer of Souls, nor Angel. But then again,
and we'll have nothing from
not even Nostradamus. Not even Nostradamus. But
not even Nostradamus. That's the thing. It's kind of hard to choose just 10 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess there's
albums.
I mean.
We can also try to do a little bit of albums just out of the blue.
Oh no, that would
no, fine.
I mean,
the top 5 best Priest albums.
I mean, 1, Screaming or Painkiller. Easy.
Yeah.
Defenders.
I would say for my 5, it'd be Painkiller, Screaming for Vengeance, Sad Wings of Destiny, Stained Class, and either British Steel or Defenders of the Faith.
Mine is easy. Mine is easy. Painkiller, I can concede that. Painkiller, Screaming, Defenders of the Faith, Sad Wings of Destiny, and maybe Sin After Sin. I'll go Sin After Sin.
For me, it would have to be Defenders of the Faith, Painkiller, Sad Wings of Destiny, Nostradamus.
Screaming?
And no, not Screaming. And let's see, it was Defenders, Painkiller, Sad Wings, Nostradamus, and I'm missing one more.
Firepower?
It's
British
close.
Steel. British Steel.
No.
Yeah. Stained Class?
Fuck, I'm just trying to think here now for my last.
Screaming for the
Stained Class?
Hellbent for Leather.
Screaming for Vengeance.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, our final top 10 songs at number 1.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Hold your peace. Sold.
So at number 10, we have Guardian / Rising from Ruins. Number 9.
From Firepower.
Yep, from Firepower. Number 9 was
Hellbent
for Leather off of Hellbent for Leather / Killing Machine.
Killing
Number
Machine.
8, Turbo Lover from Turbo. Number 7, The Ripper from Sad Wings of Destiny. Number 6, Free Will Burning from Defenders of the Faith. Number 5,
Victim of Changes.
Victim of Changes from Sad Wings of Destiny.
Sad Wing.
Number 4, Breaking the Law from British Steel. Number 3, Beyond the Realms of Death from Stained Class. Number 2, Painkiller from Painkiller. And number 1, The Hellion Electric Eye from Screaming for Vengeance.
Although if some of you want to change Painkiller for Hellion,
it could go either way between those two.
I
even struggled between those 2 songs on my list, of course.
No, but I mean people on the chat or on the comments section, if they want to change Painkiller for if you want to change Painkiller for Helion, I mean, I'm good. Although, as I said, it's not my favorite of the Painkiller album.
Mm-hmm. So the album that got the most love was Sad Wings. 2 songs from Sad Wings.
Yeah.
I mean, Victim of Changes and The Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the rest was well spread. Bless you.
Whew.
Yeah.
But I think the rest was well spread. I mean, yeah.
For the most
we
part,
we're still missing Rock and Rolla, although Rock and Rolla.
Yeah.
I mean, we're missing mostly the modern era. Angel of Retribution, Redeemer of Souls, Nostradamus, and Firepower. But if we would do a top 20, we would stay here the rest of the day.
Oh, God.
So, a reminder of the upcoming schedule. So, we got the next 2 episodes set in stone. Next episode, speaking of Haley and Electric Eye, the top 10 album opening songs. Then episode 52, top 10 live albums. Then after that, we'll put out a list of 5 topics. You guys in the YouTube chat can go to my YouTube channel community tab and vote on what the next episode after the live albums will be. But that won't be for a little while. But we'll have 5 topics. I'll have them on a list, put them on the tab, and then in order of what got the most votes to the least amount would be the following schedule going forward for the next 5 episodes afterwards.
I know for sure eventually we're going to do about, where is it? Oh, here it is.
About the Satanist.
This beast, eventually.
And eventually top 10 albums of the 80s, and I'm still looking to try and get a hold of Martin Popoff for that episode.
Yeah, or even DK.
That one will be a bitch.
That one's going to be the most difficult, I can already tell.
Mm-hmm. The 80s one's going to be the hardest one ever because everything good came out in the 80s.
Basically, there was really no bad album in the 80s except for Cold Lake by Celtic Frost.
But I mean, between King Diamond's Abigail, Metallica's most early discography, Slayer's Raining Blood, I mean, Priest,
Maiden, Bathory, Death, Early Death, Venom, even.
7 Churches.
Yes,
7 Churches.
There's just
AC/DC.
so many. Yeah, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Ozzy,
Metallica.
I mean,
Megadeth, early
I
Megadeth. There's just, it's gonna
Sabbath.
be so many.
I mean, Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, anyone?
Yep. It's gonna be a brutal one when we get there. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. But
See ya.
Reminder: next episode, it's going to be the album openers. Then after that, live albums. Then after that, you decide. Until then, horns high, and we'll see you next time.